It's red and it's a Sony. Let's crack on. Hello, and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at this gorgeous Sony SL-C20 Betamax, and it's red, in case you hadn't noticed. And I love the red series of Betamax recorders from Sony. I mean, they did so many, and they were just so funky and just really great. So this one's in great condition, except it does have a scratch that runs sort of from the back and a bit on the front here and a bit here. It's like something's been dragged on the top of it, another machine or something. But this one's come from Rich, thank you very much. And yeah, it should be good to go. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to check it over and just go through the common issues that this series of machines like C30, C80, C40 suffer with, and yeah, we'll just see how good it is. So let's crack on. So top cover off, and I don't know what this is all about. This sort of black paint on the wires here and on the top of the power supply boards, but it has been totally recapped, which is brilliant. I mean, it's not just partially recapped, it's totally recapped, and it's a bit mucky down there, which I'll clean that up, but yeah, it's looking very promising. The upper drum could do with a resurface, so we'll do that, but otherwise, yeah, really so far so good. This black paint's really weird. Don't know what that's all about, and a bit there as well, but hey ho, it's it's a small issue when the actual machine itself is pretty good so far. So yeah, I think we'll take the bottom cover off and just see what's going on there, and yeah, let's crack on. So bottom's off, and yeah, we've got glue on the Hall effect, so that really needs to come off. So yeah, let's get that done. Well, I reckon that is pretty good. A little bit of glue up against plastic there, but that doesn't matter. It's just sort of clearing the glue between the legs. So yeah, great, super. Plastics, they all look good. Got original grease on the front loading system, but that's okay. Does look as if some additional grease has been added at some point in its life, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. We've just got one or two little cracks here and there, but the actual real table assembly seems good, so I'm happy with that. So yes, next thing I want to do is, you can see the sockets on the back have been soldered, but they really need that reinforcing bit of wire, so I'm going to do that, and yeah, then we'll probably give it a try, to be fair. So let's crack on. So time to put the extra bits of wire in. Just adds a little bit of extra strength, well, connectivity if you like, to the sockets. The out being the most important. And see these have already been resoldered at some point. And there we go, and let's tidy up. Super. So let's put the back panel back on. Just giving it all a clean as well off camera. There was actually a long screw, it's sort of mismatched screw, so I've just replaced that with the correct one, and yeah, put the bottom cover on and I suppose give it a test, see what it's like. So all back together, but before we do anything, let's check fuse. What do you reckon? I think there'll be a 3-amp fuse in here. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful, actually. That's perfect. The live is a bit long, so you want, you know, if this is yanked hard enough, you want the live to pull out first. But I'm happy with that. That's fine. Yeah, I'm very tempted to sort that out, to be honest. That's a bit better. Let's crack on. So let's give it a test first before we do that upper drum. Power on. And yeah, could probably do with a bit of a clean. I'll say could do with a clean. I think there's spray polish that's sort of like dried and gone weird on there. I'll have to have a look at that. So let's power that on top of the pops on there. It's all going to be content matchable, but anyway. Well, yeah, I know this tape is slightly damaged. Oh, there we go, it's sort of picked up. Tracking left. Tracking right. It's problem with using an unknown tape. Is it the tape? Is it the machine? I've got two unknowns. I don't know the machine. I don't know the tape. Shall we try this one? Well, we have a problem there, don't we? What's that all about? And no eject. Okay. Oh, maybe I just didn't press it. What's going on with that? Another tape. Balls and horses. Well, sort of go through some tapes that I haven't tried. Okay, well that's doing the same thing as the live and kicking tape. So obviously alignments, sound seems a little bit on the muffled side as well. Okay, so I'll clean this and then we'll take a look at what's going on with the tape path. Well, that's a lot better. Heck of a lot better. The AC head had been adjusted. This guide and the azimuth adjustment both been fiddled with, so I've put those right. Let's resurface those that upper drum and check it's all okay, and I think we're not that far off. I do want to clean, just dust out all under here. I might take the front panel off as well just to check everything's okay, but yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so here goes. That feels like that's never been off. Yeah, that's never been off either. So yeah, it's pretty worn. I mean, it's fine, but yeah, obviously it has quite a bit of wear there. So I mean, it makes it look worse because it's quite mucky as well. I haven't actually cleaned the tape path on this yet. So yeah, I'll resurface this, and I do have a dedicated video on how I do it, and we'll crack on. So here goes. On with the Scotch-Brite. So Brasso just clean up any residue. Like I say before, it's a bit sort of counterintuitive, because in theory you're polishing what you've just roughed up, but what you're actually doing is just removing all the muck from the resurfacing. Not the cleanest cloth, but it will do just for this bit. Just clean behind there as well. Yeah, there's a good amount of roughing up, if you like, just to get that perfect. And then we'll clean that with some isopropyl. So different cloth. It's nice and clean, relatively clean anyway. And still some residue coming off, but that's fine. It's the reason you do it, really. No doubt I'll still have a head clog after this, but yeah. Super. Let's put that back together. So put that on. So just clean the heads. They're clean. I mean, the rest of it looks really good. That upper drum seemed super mucky. A bit odd. The rest of it looks good. Move the chip out the way. Yeah, it's pretty clean, and the capstan looks really good. I normally wouldn't use paper like this, but it's really good at picking up if you've got dirt on there, because it'll tarnish quite visibly. Pinch roller. Yeah. It's clean, just a tiny bit of muck off that. So yeah, happy with that. This is still bothering me. The not having that little cable tie around there. I just need to find my cable ties that are suitable for such a thing. But yeah, I think we're good to go. The other thing, the black paint. Someone sprayed all on the inside. It's almost like they were trying to get heat out of it, like they were worried that it was overheating, and putting this on to dissipate heat. They also put a screw or nut and bolt, I don't know what went on there, just to try and get the heatsink to press against there to dissipate more heat, which sort of really wouldn't work very well because it's designed to have an airflow past it. I don't know, would it? It probably wouldn't make a huge amount of difference, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, do I take the front panel off? Let's take the front panel off. Let's crack on. Glad I did, because it's really very mucky. So I'll clean all this up. I just had a feeling it probably was, because I could see dust all through here. So I don't think this has ever been off. And you know me, I like my machines pretty clean and tidy. I mean, I don't go too over the top, just because, well, putting all the panels apart can sometimes be more detrimental than positive. But yeah, this needs it. So the dust covers that go over these switches, they go like so. So the angled portion there doesn't foul the tracking control, and then this one, just cleaning it, or making sure it's clean, goes like so, and then nice clean tracking control goes there. You can see it doesn't foul when you move this over, it doesn't foul the tracking control. It's quite neat, really. Okay, so I'm not happy that I can get all the dust out of this, so I'm going to take the doors off. So pull out this tab and then just drop these down. This one could be a bit of a fiddle, to be honest. There we go. And then a little bit of the foam cleanser. I can get in there as well and just give that a clean. And might as well give these a proper clean now they're out. Like I say, you do have to be a bit careful with the foam cleanser, with especially Panasonic decks, because it will take the print off. But Sony's are pretty good. I've not really had any problems at all using foam cleanser with them. But obviously, always test if you can, and just be careful. But yeah. Nice. Just push back on the adjustment there. Pull this to the left. And that should go in if the tape would behave. It's at the bottom there. Super. It's looking really good. So knock that out. There we go. And then this goes back in. Pull tab here for it. But that goes that way. See that? See, there's a little bit that sticks out there. That's a pull tab to pull that out. So yeah, great, super. So I can get this back together now, and I'll put the front on anyway, and yeah, we'll see what it's like. That's looking a heck of a lot better, and I did put that cable tie on as well. Clean the plastic for what it's worth. All nicely cleaned up here. It's looking good. You can still see there's some sort of, I don't know what the spray is, but I'm gonna have to sort that out. I'll do that. I won't show that, but I'll get that sorted. Yeah, I did actually have to really go for it. I mean, you can see how shiny it is now. But whatever was sprayed on there, it probably is just polish that's just never been wiped off, and it dried, and it does form this like crust on plastics. The other thing that's interesting is, and I've seen this before on the red Sonys, you can see like red overspray. It's really weird how they must have done these. It's the red ones, I mean, I will say the paint is much thinner as well. It's a lot more fragile than the black and the silver ones. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because they just look so good. But, yeah, they're not great. So, let's try... Let's give it a quick wind on. Let's try rewind as well. It is near the beginning of the cassette, so a little bit laboured. So now I've got this strange issue again, where it's running super fast. It is literally everything is running fast. So looking a lot better, much cleaner. We do still have some contamination on the front of the doors there, but I'll get that off. I'm going to worry about that in this video. And I did do that cable tie as well. It was really bothering me for some reason. So yeah, it's looking like a great machine again, and the ace head sorted as well. That's really, really cool. So let's power it up and do some tests. Just help if you turn it on. So that's looking really good, to be fair. Just straight in, no problem at all with head clogs. Tracking left. Tracking right, just a little bit of noise coming in. That's fine. Really good heads, I have to say. Let's get it back to the center. Let's try the still. So, as good as you'd expect with a two head. Cue. Review. Yeah, it's not rolling at all. It's perfect. I'm really, really pleased with that. Set the clock. Give away when I'm doing this. The time I'm doing this. about right. Super. So tone, high, low, high. Got a tuner switch as well. So yeah, really pleased with it. As far as it goes, I'm still bothered about the black, but it will help dissipate heat, I suppose. It's no biggie. And it was interesting that they sort of screwed this to the back to try and dissipate some heat, even though, I mean, obviously you're restricting airflow, so I don't know whether that would have done anything really, but obviously paranoid about heat. Yeah, this will now be run for several hours. Well, I do 10 hours running. I'll check recording as well. Okay, so I'd run it for a little while and I started getting noise bars creeping all over the screen, and I checked the pinch roller, and I don't know whether you can see this. It has virtually no run on, and basically that's a pinch roller. I mean, the bearings have just gone, it's just failed. So dug around, managed to find another pinch roller, and so far it seems very stable, but yeah, it's something that seems to be happening. I'm coming across quite a lot at the moment as these machines get older, I suppose, but yeah, hopefully that'll be fine. I mean, they are pretty reliable, to be fair, and I am looking to source some sort of replacement. I don't know, it's not going to be easy, but yeah, watch this space. Now, I have to say, since the last segment, about 3 or 4 weeks has passed, and I've sort of forgotten how far I got with this. But I'm pretty sure I've done everything, but discovered that I think it was the take-up was running fast. I think that was the conclusion I came to. Whether that is actually what's going on, I don't know. The other thing that happened is this fell out, which is not good. That's not one of mine either. So yeah, I just wonder if that's been causing problems as well. So let's press play. Yeah. I don't know whether I've got two problems. Like, everything is running fast. You hear it? Yeah, it's damaging the tape. It's pulling the tape. So, nah, it is. It's the real take-up. I can slow down the capstan, and yeah, it's damaging the tape. Okay, let's take the cassette out. We'll put in my grease as the word tape. So, oh yeah, it's going like the clappers. You can actually hear just how fast that's going. Let's pause. Wow. Okay, so my thinking is I've had a dig around and I've found another mechanism. The either's got a bit of plastic broken there, but that doesn't matter. I'll swap that over, just more for cosmetics than anything. But I'm just going to probably take the motor off rather than replace the whole bottom wheel assembly. Actually, what I might do, I think we've got enough cable to do this. I might actually just plug in the motor as is, because there's enough cable on the loom to it to allow me to do that. So, well, let's give it a try. It's probably not going to be the clearest thing in the world, but I think I should be able to pull that out. Yeah. And plug that into there, and that'll just prove if it is the motor. Or something else. So there we go. We'll turn it back on. Yeah, again, that seems a bit fast. There'll be enough torque if I do that. Just no. I think if I just go backwards and forwards with that should be enough. It does seem like it's still going very fast. Yeah, to my mind that's still going very fast, so I think I need to have a look at some voltages to see what's going on. And it's quite handy because I've got that out of there now, so yeah, we can check. So let's crack on. Okay, so I've checked the voltages. First wire on the left here, which is incidentally the one with the line on. That is reverse. Second one is B+. Third one is system ground. The fourth one is the speed control feedback, or well, control voltage, and it is currently at about 3.8 volts, and it should be about 1.4 volts. Maybe a little bit more. So yeah, it's considerably quicker, or telling it to go considerably quicker than it should. So we have got a problem. Did we try? Because 3.8 volts is Q review speeds. So I can do this without shorting something out. I mean, it does speed up. but it is considerably faster than it should be. Okay, so I'm going to plug the plug back into the onboard real table assembly, and I suppose we need to look at the SS16 board and see what's going on. Let's crack on. So the plot thickens. There's quite a bit of something going on here. That's the fuse has been replaced, semiconductor fuse has been replaced, but underneath the board. So that's interesting. And some interesting sort of white something or other going on here. And quite what that's all about doesn't quite make sense to me. But that doesn't look original at all. And yeah, yellow pads have been removed, which is fair enough. I mean, nothing's touching by the looks. I'm sort of looking around here because there's the real drive connector there. So I'm assuming probably somewhere around here or even here is where I need to be looking. But that's white stuff. It's sort of, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's liquid, or I don't think it is. There's a job to tell. But anyway, I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up and just make 1 or 2 checks off camera, and then we'll get the meter on it and see what we can find. Let's crack on. Well, I removed the tuner board, just get lots of easy access to SS16. Just made sure obviously that that RF lead is tucked well away because you don't want that floating about. And did some checks. I thought it all seems okay. This resistor needs to go. Even though it's mechanically fixed, I don't think it's actually doing anything. Because it's got a really dirty end to it, but I'll take it out anyway and we'll see what happens. But it's working, and it's working absolutely fine. And all I did was adjust the torque. The torque was turned right up as high as it will go, and it is absolutely fine. So how bizarre. At some point, obviously, that's been fiddled with, and it's caused that issue. Seems way too easy. What I will do is I'm going to use hot glue, actually, just to insulate the modifications. I'll put that fuse back on the top. But yeah, that's all it was. It's literally adjusting the torque back. And it's all good. So yeah, what I'll do then is we'll have a look at this power supply, because it looks a mess, but I do want to check it as well, just to make sure that it is all okay. But and probably we'll do something about the heatsink on the SDK as well. Put something maybe a little bit better at transferring the heat, maybe. But yeah, I'll do all of that, and we'll take it from there. Let's crack on. Well, I've removed the resistor, put hot glue under some of them, not everything, because not everything needed it really. But yeah, just a dab of hot glue just to sort of keep them in situ so they don't get pressed against the board by accident. And other people look at this, which I'm sure they will. I did leave the fuse there. Main reason I did is because it is actually quite tight to get in there to do it. I could drop the board. Wouldn't be that big a job to do. But I just think, well, it's fine. Its legs are stressed anyway. So I don't really want to be poking about with it too much. So I just think, just leave it there. It's fine. You know what it is. And it's obvious. So yeah, I'm happy with that, to be fair. Relatively ish. I think sometimes I could be a little bit too OCD about this, these things. But yeah, there's sort of lots of interesting bits and pieces that have gone on with this machine, but it seems to be working absolutely fine now. Now I've properly adjusted the torque. I will put the torque gauge tape in and just see what the torque's like. I think it should be about 40 on the tape, but yeah, we'll have a look anyway. But yeah, so I'll get this back together and we'll check that power supply out. So I've actually adjusted the torque back to where it was, because where I'd adjusted it to, when I took that resistor out, there wasn't enough torque. So no idea what was going on there. It's obviously biasing a transistor to increase the torque, but it increased it so much that it was actually, well, damaging the pinch roller and causing all the issues. So yeah, how bizarre. But yeah, it's working absolutely fine now with the original torque position. And I just don't know. It feels like whoever looked at this before thought it was a capstan issue, but somehow I don't understand how biasing that one transistor to increase the torque would do the trick. I mean, there's a capacitor changed here in the capstan area, I think. I haven't checked that actually, but I assume it is. But yeah, I just don't know what the thought process of the previous repair was. It's always quite interesting to sort of try and disassemble that and to see why things were done or why things were bodged in some cases, because obviously as these machines got older, they tended to be bodged just to keep them going, kids' room, or just to copy some tapes or whatever. But really weird. But anyway, I'll crack on and get this board back on, and we'll take it from there. We're pretty much back together. Bottom panel's back on now. I did go through the power supply. I didn't do anything with the heatsink in the end, because it has actually got fresh heatsink compound on there, and the micro insulator is actually perfect, so it's fine. I mean, we'll see what the voltages are like coming off this, but I think it's absolutely fine. I have changed the fuses just because with age they do rupture, or can rupture. The 3.15 amp one, actually you could see a tiny bit of singeing on the actual fuse itself, where it had been flexing, and I have cleaned off the black paint off here because it's totally pointless. I have taken maybe a little bit too much off and possibly compromised the galvanizing of it a little bit. I don't know, I might have got away with that. Clean there, clean there. You can still see there's a couple of little bits there, but I'm not going to worry about that. Found a new one of these, or a replacement one, actually off an old C9 scrap deck, and also replaced that, so it's one less piece of wire with black all over it. But yeah, I think we are about ready to give this a try. Relatively happy that it's going to be all okay, and I think if it is okay, yeah, I think we will have succeeded. What I will do, because I'm still confused about this resistor that was put on the board like that and causing all sorts of problems with the torque. I mean, this will need a good run now. I tend to do at least 10 hours, usually 20 hours of playback testing. And if I do find it causes problems or gets over hot, I'll do a quick update video at some point, just to sort of let you know. But otherwise, yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah, let's crack on and power test it. Okay, so here goes. And there we have it. Looking really good. It's tracking furthest left, furthest right, very good heads. That's really cool. Pause. What you'd expect from a two-head machine. Let's try it again. Oh, it's pretty consistent. Yeah, so it's fine. So yeah, really chuffed with that. So like I say, I'll give it a good run, and if there is anything more with it, I'll update you. Otherwise, it's all good to go. So let's just test these tensions for what it's worth. Don't actually know what it should be, and I don't know whether there's actually any official figures, but we should get a good indication of the amount of torque that's there and whether that's sufficient. I mean, obviously it was really high before, so using the SL-C20 take up tension tape. Yeah, I might have to just adjust. I think it's the one at the back I have to adjust to stop it from pausing like that at lace. So already at 150 just on lace. And about 125, which I'd say is good. It's very good actually. So yeah, and it's pretty consistent, to be fair. So yeah, quite happy with that. So let's stop that and rewind it. Eject that, and then we have SL-C20 which is wind and rewind, and it should be, I think, about 10-ish, but we'll put that in. It's just getting to 12, so it's got good rewind torque there. That's cool. So it's really interesting cassette, that. So yeah, really pleased with that. And I suppose we could check the back tension. So that is the SL-C20 so it's got the back tension as well as the take up. It doesn't seem to be doing the pause anymore. It can actually sort itself out. It can just be sometimes from lack of use. So 35, yeah, we'll do that because it doesn't get enough time to take up the torque. So 35, which I'm happy about. It should be about 35 to 40 according to the notes I've got. So yeah, happy with that. A little bit on the low side, not a problem. So let's just try this cassette, see how it loads. Seems alright. try that once more. I can always adjust it. If it's this one, I forget which way around. I always get muddled. I think it's that one. It's the end. So this is actuated when it reaches the end of the lace, and you can just adjust that pawl there with a flat blade screwdriver just to sort of tweak it. This one's the unlace, and again you can loosen off that screw a bit and just adjust it further or closer depending on where you want it to trigger. So yeah, seems okay now, but I'll monitor that. It's going to have lots of testing anyway, so yeah, that's cool. Let's crack on. So we're back on the Red C20, and actually looks really dusty in there, but it isn't. There's a couple of little bits in there that miss. There's a hair in there as well. Everything's fine, except right at the beginning of the cassette, you do still get like, it's almost like excessive back tension. Indeed, if you sort of take off the back tension altogether, you do get the picture back, albeit still rolling a little bit. But yeah, that seems to be what it's like, is excessive back tension. And it does look as if, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a heck of a lot of movement on that spool. And it's not uncommon for the plastic at the bottom, at the base of the actual spindle, to crack. And I think that's what's happened, or that's what's causing the problem. This one is fine. There's no movement on that at all. It's just the supply reel. So yeah, I'm going to take the back off, and we'll have a look at that plastic and see if we can get it up and running as it should. Let's crack on. So it's slightly different to what I've come across before. There is a crack, which probably, well, you probably can see it. There's grease in it, but this, I've pushed it in now, but this was actually just floating like that, just sort of barely in, and yeah, not ideal. So I'm going to clean this up because it's quite badly tarnished as well. Quite what that's all about. It's like bad grease or something at some point that's been put in there, maybe to try and fix it. And then I think I'm just going to glue it straight in, because I'm going to have to try and get rid of the oil somehow. Really get it oil free, because obviously the glue is not going to like that. But yeah, if I can get the super glue sort of well and truly in there, and then push it in, you have got the hole in the back, which you can't really see because of the angle. So you have got the hole in the back there, where the spool actually, the spindle, sorry, actually comes out. You can see it there. So I'm tempted to actually put the glue in this side, push this in quick. Job's a good one. But yeah, let's see what I can do. Okay, so that's glued. I'll reassemble this and just check the ball bearings are good, which they are not. So what I do with these, a little bit of spray, I'll just run it in, because it's little metal ball bearings in a plastic rim, and a little bit of silicone lubricant, just a tiny bit, just sort of run it in, and that should be okay. Yeah, that is actually fine. The older decks, it was metal. which I think is a little bit better for the job. I'm just going to put a little bit on the actual upper washer as well. It's all plastic, metal, plastic. And then I've cleaned the spool up pretty well, I think. It's looking good. Put just a little bit of silicone on that as well. Just a tiny bit, because it does creep. But it will do the job. And just watch out for the back tension band. You don't have to take it off at the screw end. Try to bend the blinking thing. That comes round into here. It's just like clipsy pinch. I have done this on a previous video actually. So, and then just get it so it's sat properly. So that should do the trick. So I should be able to reassemble this. Glue isn't quite dry yet. Everything else looks good. This spool is actually okay. Because take-up's fine anyway. Plenty of take-up. Yeah, so it's just interesting. Probably if I put a back tension meter on it. Well, yeah, back tension meter wouldn't actually show the problem because it's right at the beginning of the cassette. So it's, I actually wonder if I used a shorter cassette, whether I'd even see the problem. But with that massive full spool, it's just causing excessive back tension because the spool's effectively trying to be pulled over. That's my thinking anyway. And could even be fouling the spool slightly. The actual spool itself fouling the rest of the mechanism somewhere, sort of like really excessive back tension. Could be wrong. But it did seem to have a lot of back tension when I took the back tension off, if that makes sense. So moved the arm completely out of the way, and there still seemed to be plenty of back tension. And I did pretty much get a picture. I did that as well, make sure that is on. But the plastics are a little bit cracked. I might just glue some of these as well, just for the sake of completeness. It shouldn't really cause any problems, but I don't really want plastic floating about either, so yeah, I probably will do that. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so here goes. Turn it on. Right. Hopefully we should be. Well, that's not a good start, is it? Yeah. There we go, just had to adjust that pawl. So that pawl is playing up a bit, but that's fine. So just that bit of an adjustment. Cool. Yeah, and that's now absolutely fine. So that was a bit crazy. So yeah, it was just dropping out before, and at the beginning of this tape's, well, I know this beginning of the tape is very good because I've wrecked it, but as you can hear, it sort of labours a little bit. And there's a bit of damaged tape, just the top edge. But yeah, of course that might not be helping. Oh yeah, this is quite damaged. But yeah, this bit wouldn't play at all. So I think that was the original fault. The plastic had broken, and that spindle had just sort of come adrift, and it was riding a bit high in there, and a bit wobbly. So gluing that back together and getting it so it's the right height has solved the problem. So yeah, how bizarre. Finally got there in the end. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe as well, and I will hopefully see you in another video. Bye for now.